Come on, Cleopatra, shift yourself. Ow! Greetings, dear friends, and welcome to another of my delightfully informative and insightful monologues. Now, let me just ask you something. Do you ever get the suspicion you've been secretly sectioned into some kind of open-air asylum? As if you're a prisoner trapped in a tiny village, like in that 60s TV series where everyone's just a number, guarded by those belligerent balloons. What was it called? Randland Hopkirk? No, The Equalizer, with Edward Woodward. That was it, wasn't he? Well, as we all know, don't we? The untarnished truth is always stranger than fiction. Am I right? Allow me to illustrate what I'm talking about. Just the other day I was down at my local supermarket, giving the fresh veg the old squeeze and sniff like you do, merrily minding my own business, when this hulking great security guard goose steps over, gets right up in my face and starts giving it all that. Well, I was obviously taken aback by this unprovoked attack, but made damn sure I defiantly stood my ground, because I wasn't going to be talked down to like that, was I? I know my official legal rights, as I've done extensive research on the internet. So I read this high-vis bully boy the riot act in no uncertain terms. I mean, so what's it to him if I want to go grocery shopping in my favourite Winnie the Pooh onesie? Then this gobby Jobsworth goes and calls over the bleeding manager, who looked like a right Karen, even down to the name badge. And, get this, even though I hadn't actually done anything, so I was lawfully innocent, I got ruddy well banned, didn't I? They frog-marched me out of the store with everyone laughing and saying I must have been after the honey. I was thoroughly humiliated, I can tell you. I told the pair of them they'll be hearing from my solicitors about this, and the guard goes, "Who are they then? Tigger, Wall and Piglet?" Cheeky bugger. I mean, it's like you give some people a badge and a little bit of power and they go instant Hitler on you, don't they? This entire planet is being run into the ground by greedy, power-mad psychopaths with hidden genders who just want to enslave our souls. Anyway, as I said, I've done loads of serious investigations into what's really lawful and found some truly startling facts I can tell you. For instance, did you know that none of the rules they impose on us are legally valid in the first place? They're all based on precedents that they just make up as they go along, moot points and archaic marital laws that go back to the Dark Ages. I've read all about the laws that govern the UK and Commonwealth. Come to think of it, do we still own a Commonwealth? Well, there must be plenty of wealth knocking about, but it's not exactly common round here, is it? I found out, as soon as you're born, the powers that be sneakily register your so-called legal name in some kind of dodgy trust fund, which they use to diddle you out of your benefits. For example, my government-assigned moniker is Richard Oliver Twoddle, all in uppercase capitals, and that's very important, but I'll forget to tell you why later. They get these legal names engraved on little gold strips that they keep in a secret vault deep beneath the Bank of England. That's why the government are pushing for identity cards and foisting that digital currency on us, innit? Then they can link our smartphones with these name tags to directly access our personal bank accounts, so they've got us by the curly whirlies. They actually own our online identities, so it's like we're bent backwards over a beer barrel and chewing the pillow. These malevolent megalomaniacs are abusing the law for purely political purposes, to wield it as a weapon of war against us. And now they're shifting the goalposts, normalising some crimes while restricting our freedom of speech, which used to be sacred, am I right? Do you remember back in the good old Dixon Adopt Green days, when things made sense? All you had to do to keep out of trouble with the police, well, it was super easy, wasn't it? Barely an inconvenience. You just had to not break the law. But the government have now removed that option, so PC Plod can stitch up anyone whose opinions they don't like with these so-called non-crime hate incidents. And those non-crimes are dealt with even more harshly than real offences, with kangaroo courts bouncing people into prison for the slightest little peccadillo. Just consider what this actually means. All the time you're not actively engaged in a legally defined unlawful act, you are, by default, committing a non-crime. The coppers can't even cope with proper felonies anymore because they're buried under caseloads of spurious non-crimes. Honestly, I swear, you couldn't make this stuff up. And believe me, I've tried. But don't despair, dear friends. For now is not the end. All is not yet lost in this grim, unpleasant land. There are still safe havens we can escape to when the lights go up and the balloon goes out. My tireless research has discovered some practical ways in which we can disconnect from this tyrannical state control system, living off-grid in cooperative communities with simple, self-sufficient lifestyles. Indeed, the gorgeous Gloria and yours truly have decided to sink all our assets into this wonderful new venture called the Gigglesick Preppers Clan Plan. This is a band of dedicated professional preppers who are determined to survive the coming Acropolis in order to rebuild a brave new world. Rising like a phone box from the ashes, this utopia will be based on sustainable organic technology without all those toxic chemicals and them nasty electric fields. We've bought the rights to 1/2 acre of real estate on which to start construction of our reinforced tarpaulin nuclear shelter. We've already ordered all the stocks and supplies we'll need to sustain ourselves. 400 cases of beans, 3.5 hundredweight of instant mash, 2 caddies of reusable tea bags, 30 gallons of UHT milk, just the 3 bags of sugar because Gloria's sweet enough, 37 tins of ready rubbed, 96 rolls of double-sided toilet paper and 700 tins of gourmet cat food. And a tin opener. Bugger, should have made that 2 tin openers so Cleopatra's got one too. Where was I? Oh yeah, we've also just received the lawful deeds that officially grant me the title of Richard the 3rd Earl of Gigglesick, making the gorgeous Gloria the 3rd Countess Twoddle. The old girl's now a proper landlady, which she's right chuffed about. This official clan designation effectively nullifies the fake name tags the government use, completely absolving us of all legal obligations and according us the status of sovereign citizens of the free world. This title technically predates the Magna Carta, therefore supplanting its provenance, and, this is the important bit because it's what confers our entitlements, it's officially authenticated by our inky thumbprints. These privileges include a licence for medical marijuana, so we can now puff our pipes without hassle from the rozzers. We've also become honorary nomads to qualify for a traveller's licence, so the boys in blue can't stop, detain or question us, as we're not technically driving a vehicle as such. And if the gormless Gestapo try to give us any general grief, we bought this handy-dandy Sovsit immunity card. The Gigglesick Clan King, Sir Barry, Marquis of Argleton, said me and the charismatic Countess can visit our Grand Earldom next month to give the site a once-over, survey the lay of our land, so to speak. The actual plot itself is literally just a stone's throw from the nearby reform school, which might sound like a bad thing, but Sir Barry said, "Police! Crikey bikey, cork your bum, Dickie. Sorry folks, gotta go. Keep 'em peeled." Oh, bollocks!
We are going there, Twoddle!
It's gone everywhere.
Piss Poor Productions.
I'm terribly sorry.